Hello and welcome to Coast to Coast. We're just going to call it basketball edition here. We're going to be breaking down everything NBA and college basketball in a little bit of a different format. So it's going to be myself, Eric Ruby. Alongside me, I have Nick Frias and Vaughan Jones. Now, Nick's going to have a little bit of a different role here because Vaughan and I are going to be doing a debate-style show today. Nicholas Frias will be mediating in the middle. He will be giving us our topics and then deciding who won that round. We have 5 rounds, 5 topics, only one winner. So let's get started off right off the bat. Nick, what is our first topic?
All right, gentlemen, we are going to start off by discussing the greatest athlete of all time and the greatest basketball player of all time.
Serena Williams?
No.
Greatest athlete of all time?
LeBron James.
That's right, LeBron James, baby.
We're going to discuss the Cavs. Are you guys buying in or are you not buying in on the Cavs? Eric, let's start with you.
Oh my gosh, I'm buying in on the Cavs. LeBron James, the greatest basketball player of all time. I said it, greatest basketball player of all time. He's averaging 28 points, 9 rebounds, almost 9 assists as well. 28, 9, and 9 for a man in his 15th season. I don't care if you put a G League roster around him. He's going to make a run in the playoffs. He will make a finals again. And guess what? He doesn't have a G League roster with him. Kevin Love is back. J.R. Smith will always turn it up in the playoffs because J.R. Smith is going to have those few games. Kyle Korver, hopefully he can come back from his family death. He can shoot those threes. Look, if you put LeBron around 4 shooters, which they have been doing since K-Love has been back, he is absolutely unstoppable. All you have to do is one-on-one, get a screen for LeBron, he drives to the paint, somebody's going to have to rotate over and block him, you kick it out, that's a three-pointer. And I get it, their defense is a little bit suspect right now, but it's also the regular season. I cannot bet against LeBron James. I don't care if he's in his 15th season, his 45th season, it doesn't matter. The man's putting up numbers, and he will carry this Cavs team to another finals appearance. And that is what I'm sticking to.
Well, you say the defense is a little suspect. How does bottom 10 in the NBA in defensive rating sound?
That counts for suspect.
No, yeah, that's not suspect. That's horrible. That is just awful. Nobody can make a finals run with that defensive rating. And I don't care who you surround LeBron James with. Kevin Love, good second option, but a little injury prone. We've seen him get hurt in the playoffs before in that high-intensity atmosphere. J.R. Smith is having his worst season to date, I believe. He's not having a great year at all, and he might turn it up in the playoffs, and he might not. That's a big might. Jordan Clarkson, decent. Larry Nance Jr., out for the time being. They have a decent roster, but they don't defend. Ante Zizic is their backup center, and he starts right now because Tristan Thompson isn't playing. Who knows when he's going to be back? I'm not in on the Cavs. I can't legitimately bring myself to believe that a team with one of the bottom 10 defensive ratings can play a team like the Toronto Raptors who can score in a hurry.
I mean, look, I get it. The defense of the regular season is not good. I'm not going to argue with you on that. But I think there's going to be a different level in the playoffs. Plus, that defensive rating also counts for all those IT games, all of that. I feel like when you have Larry Nance Jr. back, an athletic guy who could try to protect the rim, you have Tristan Thompson, who, I mean, a big body is a big body. I get it. He's not the max contract Tristan Thompson they thought he was going to be, but he's better than Ante Zizic. And those two guys with K-Love and LeBron, I mean, they're going to be able to guard. George Hill's a good point guard defender. Jordan Clarkson is athletic wing that can switch off 1 through 3. I think when you get to the playoffs, if you play with LeBron James, he makes everybody better offensively and defensively. And to be frank, LeBron hasn't tried on defense this year. He hasn't. He's been carrying the load offensively. When he gets to the playoffs, he will turn everything up because that is what GOATs do, and LeBron James is the GOAT.
If he's going to turn it up in the playoffs, why not just turn it up now?
Because it's the regular season. It doesn't matter.
You're not proving to me that you can play defense. I'm not going to believe you can play defense in a playoff setting. I'm not going to believe that when Tristan Thompson has to sit because he can't play every minute. I'm not going to believe that Ante Zizic isn't going to get dunked on by Jakob Poeltl, because if Andre Drummond gets dunked on by Poeltl, then Zizic can certainly be dunked on by Poeltl. I personally think the Cavaliers haven't shown enough to me this year. This is the second worst LeBron Cavs team we've seen. Because the 2007 Cavs exist.
Okay, but this is the second worst by a mile.
This is the second worst Cavs team we've seen. And I just can't bring myself to do it, especially since there are at least 2 other contenders in the Eastern Conference.
All right, you know what? Obviously, we don't agree on this. Nick, who won that round?
So, personally, I do agree with everything you've said. I do think playoff LeBron's going to show up. But I liked Vaughn's points.
Come on.
So I'm going to give this round to Vaughan, even though I agree with you.
I'm down 1-0.
So next we're going to move on, and we're going to discuss another playoff team in the same conference that will actually compete with the Cavs for that Eastern Conference title. The Raptors. Vaughan, we'll start with you since we started with Eric.
6 gods. Raptors. Best bench in the NBA. You name it, they have it. Norman Powell, fantastic defender, incredibly athletic guy. Fred VanVleet, awesome underdog success story. Jakob Poeltl, tall white guy. You name it, the Toronto Raptors have it. And they just, for some reason, their bench is amazing. Everyone knows they choke in the playoffs, but they've changed their offensive style and their offensive rhythm has changed. They put more emphasis on the long ball this year, and they have better ball movement than they've had in years past. So you see Lowry choke in the playoffs on an ISO. Lowry doesn't ISO as much anymore. DeRozan might ISO a little bit, but DeMar DeRozan is having his best year. He elevated his game to another level after elevating it to another level last year. I didn't even think it was possible. DeRozan's fantastic. Lowry doesn't ISO as much anymore because they try to move the ball around. Dwayne Casey, amazing coach. The Toronto Raptors have a chance to make the Eastern Conference Finals, definitely, and maybe potentially the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you with the fact they had a great regular season. They're probably the best regular season team in the Eastern Conference.
I can tell where
But
this is
look,
going.
everybody says, oh, the Raptors choke in the playoffs. You want to know why? Because the Raptors always choke in the playoffs. It's still Kyle Lowry. It's still DeMar DeRozan, man. Yeah, they move the ball around a little bit more. But a lot of times when you're in pressure situations, you revert back to your old ways. I still think DeMar and Kyle Lowry will ISO a lot in the playoffs. And you said their bench. You named off all their guys. They're playing great in the regular season. These are people who don't have run in the playoffs. They don't have experience. LeBron James is going to absolutely eat them alive.
That
absolutely eat them
non-playoff
alive.
experience point is going to come back to bite you later.
Hey,
in the
it's
show.
okay, man. Like, 'cause here's the thing. Look, I'm not going to rely on Jakob Poeltl. Okay, I'm not going to rely on Fred
Jakob
VanVleet.
Poeltl's awesome. Fred VanVleet's
I'm not
awesome.
going to rely on Fred VanVleet. OG Anunoby is a rookie, and he's been put in a good situation. He's a decent starter for them, but I just think when you go up against LeBron James in the playoffs, you're not going to make that Eastern Conference. You're not going to make that Finals. You'll probably make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I can't buy it, and I'm going to put it off a regular season game, even though you can't base everything off of that. But the Raptors had a huge lead against the Cavs, and the Cavs just come back and the Raptors blew it. LeBron James took away their entire defensive scheme because they put 4 out and LeBron. He drove in, he kicked it out. K-Love had a good game. LeBron knows how to play against them. He's completely confident against them, and I cannot buy this Raptors team making it to the Finals. Maybe putting up a few games in the Eastern Conference Finals, but I'm not even sure about that yet. I mean, I'm not sure that they're going to be a legitimate threat to LeBron James in the Eastern Conference. I just can't buy it. I'm not going to put my stock in Fred VanVleet, Jakob Poeltl, and OG Anunoby. No matter how good they've been this season, this regular season, I'm not going to put all my money on them in the playoffs.
I guess we have to agree to disagree. I, for one, huge fan of Jakob Poeltl, huge fan of Fred VanVleet. We watched Pascal Siakam the other day competently defend LeBron James. It was interesting to watch that matchup because near the end of the game, LeBron was trying to take over, but Siakam was there. Siakam stayed in front of him all except that one last possession.
And then LeBron decided to get 17 assists and 0 turnovers and be an absolute maestro out there. I mean, LeBron can kill you either way. Even if Siakam plays good defense against LeBron, it doesn't matter because he could still be a passer. And if you have those three-point shooters surrounding LeBron, he's going to get buckets either way, either by passing or scoring. The Raptors can't stop that.
I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree.
I guess so.
I mean, I personally, I know, like we said, it's one regular season game. They have another regular season game coming up. I think next week or the week after. Cavs play the Raptors again, this time in Toronto. So I feel like that's where we're going to see what's more indicative. Because if Toronto ends up getting that number 1 seed, they'll have that home field advantage. And Jurassic Park is a very tough place to play. The Six Gods.
Well, and I can't wait for that game, that Toronto-Cleveland game coming up at the end of the regular season. I'm going to have to give this round to Erik.
Let's go. Let's go, man.
There were 2 very good arguments, but the turning point for me is we haven't seen this Raptors team perform in the playoffs at a level where they can go all the way.
That lack of playoff performance is a really important.
The lack of playing well in the playoffs. The lack of playing well in the playoffs. All right, third topic. We're all tied 1-1 here. It's going to be an interesting show. I couldn't get in that hole there. I had to bring out the big guns there. It's now 1-1. All right, let's go, Frias. What's that third topic?
We're going to switch it up now.
Uh-oh.
It's March.
It is.
Kemba's playing like he's back at UConn.
It's madness.
But we're not talking about Kemba. We're not talking about the Hornets. We're going back to college basketball. We're going to talk about one of the Sweet 16 teams that plays tonight, Purdue. Isaac Haas out with an injury. The engineering students over at Purdue have engineered a brace for him that they're going to try and get passed by the NCAA so he can play. Do you guys think he should play? Erik, we'll start with you.
Yeah, he's a senior. It's his last year there. He may or may not make it to the league. He's not sure yet. Look, if he wants to play and he feels like he's ready to play and they have a brace for him to play, why not do it? I mean, if he gets hurt a little bit more, that's not going to be on my conscience because I'm not going to be like, hey, Isaac Haas, play. I'm not going to push him in. But if he's ready to play, he should play. If he wants to, he should, right? If he has that brace, it gets cleared by the NCAA, I don't see why not. It could be his last game in a Purdue uniform. He's a senior. He's been there for a lot of his college career. I mean, he's put his heart and soul on this team. And yeah, this whole Purdue team, they're well-rounded, and they may not need him as much as a lot of other teams may need like another star player just because Purdue has a lot of upperclassmen, a lot of guys that could put up some good numbers. But I don't see why not. If he himself feels like he is ready to play, he should be allowed to. If he has that brace, he can go out there and play. He's been trying to shoot left-handed, which totally worked for Tristan Thompson. But I don't think he's going to try to do that. I think he's going to try to just go out there and make an impact. And look, if he tries to play and he's out there and it just comes to the fact where he's not good enough to play or he doesn't feel like he can keep up in game, then he should sit out. Then it's that. But if you're going into the game and you feel like you're ready to play, you're medically cleared to play with the brace, I think you should go for it. There should be no reason why you sit out.
Think of how ridiculous this situation is that we're talking about. A man fractures his elbow. Engineering students at Purdue University made him something that has only just been approved by the NCAA yesterday.
Innovation.
That they're not number one in innovation.
They're not, but they're sure innovating ways to keep their players in the NCAA tournament.
Listen, he's a good player. He puts up, 14.7 points per game. He's not going to do that if he's shooting with his left hand. You don't just switch hands in the Sweet 16. You can't do that. You're not going to be able to keep up. It's clear that he's not going to be able to keep up, and I trust Coach more than anything. Purdue head coach, he's doubtful. He says he doesn't want him to play, and the quote is, he has not shown that he can do basic basketball. And so if a guy isn't able to do basic basketball, why would you put him in a Sweet 16 basketball game? Come on!
Look, the question isn't, will Isaac Haas be good in the Sweet 16? The question is, should he play?
Okay.
If he feels like he's ready to play, he's a senior, he's earned the right to make that decision, he should play. And look, if he's not that good, then it's coach's decision to take him out. But at least let him go out there and try. Like, let him try. Look, you're going to be down a player anyway. You might as well go out there, put one of your best players out there, and what, the off chance that he makes an impact, you want to miss out on that? Like, it can still happen. Let's not pretend like crazier stuff hasn't happened. Like, people can come back on injuries. I mean, you can think about the NBA Finals, all that stuff. People have come back from these injuries, and I get it. It's a shooting elbow. It's a weird situation.
Yes, it's a very weird situation.
It's weird. But the question was, should he play or should he not play? If he feels like he is ready to play, and he has that brace, he should go out there. Whether he's good or not, that's up to him, and that's up to the coach to pull him or not. But you shouldn't restrict him from playing if he feels like he's fully capable of going out there and playing.
If you watch videos, that brace is a brace. He is not.
The brace is a brace.
But I'm saying it's a brace. The guy's hardly moving his shooting elbow. Like, I'm sorry, I can't justify putting I can't justify that. It's like, making a guitarist play guitar with a broken hand. You don't do it because it's not going to sound good. Like, it's just a thing that doesn't happen. You don't have a guy switch up because he's a senior, yeah? So he's been playing at Purdue with his right hand for the last 3.5 years. Don't make the guy play with his left hand. Just don't do it. You don't want your tournament, you don't want your college career to end with a whimper.
They're not forcing it. It's his. He wants to do it. They're not forcing him to do it. They're like, here, Isaac Haas, we're putting you out there.
They're not forcing him to do it.
He wants to play.
But if a team, but they're not forcing him to do it. They're discouraging him from doing it. They're saying, don't do it. But if they're asking you not to do it, you should be. If you're really going to be loyal to your team, you should listen to what your coach says. Because if you feel like you could play, you're 22. Your coach is your coach. You have to listen to that coach. You can listen to your body, but also you have a fractured elbow. Like, you could say, I'm ready to go. But you're clearly not because your elbow's freaking fractured.
All right, now we're just arguing about Isaac Haas's demeanor with his coach and what he's like as a person. Frias, based on the question, who won that round?
Based on the question, I'm going to have to give it to Erik.
Let's go.
I mean,
I'm on fire.
If he wants to play, the brace has been cleared. Those engineering students over at Purdue are very good at what they're doing. I mean,
we're now Purdue engineering.
Look, I'm just saying, first person to win back-to-back right here. First person to win back-to-back right here.
So we're going to move on to another Sweet 16 team that is also playing tonight in the Kansas Jayhawks, very near and dear to our Sun Devil hearts because of a wonderful Sunday in December. So we'll start with Vaughan here since Erik started the last round. Vaughan, Are you in or out on the Kansas Jayhawks?
I'm out. Wow. Clemson's playing out of their mind right now. It's true. They are. If Clemson can get the win, that's cool. But then even so, next round, they're probably going to have to play Duke. Duke's going to beat Kansas. Like, Kansas is good. Kansas is well coached. Bill Self, good coach. But they don't have the talent that stacks up to Duke. Like this, if you're asking me if I'm in or out on Kansas winning the tournament, there's no way Kansas wins.
No way? You're giving them 0% chance for a 1 seed to win the tournament?
I don't give it a 0% chance, but I'd give it probably about a 20 if they have to play Duke next round. It's March. Crazier things have happened. I just think that Duke is the better basketball team, and I think that right now, I think right now we're primed to see a 2-1 upset because it's not even much of an upset because I don't even think Duke should be a 2 seed. Duke's too good to be a 2 seed. Duke has amazing interior defense. They have Marvin Bagley. They have decent distributors. They have Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen.
We both love Grayson Allen.
I'm a big Grayson Allen guy.
Grayson Allen fan. I don't see Kansas making a run past. I don't see them making a run past the Elite Eight. I don't.
I think you're sleeping on them. Yeah, they're a number 1 seed, and I feel like a lot of people aren't respecting them because, to be frank, they're a little bit boring.
They lost to
okay,
ASU.
That was in December. Look, if we're basing things off December, ASU was a number 1 seed, and Kansas isn't even in the tournament, all right? Look, they have great players. They have Devontae Graham, Svi, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, Malik Newman, Udoka Azubuike. I mean, those are guys that are all averaging over 12 points per game, and Devontae Graham could be the player of the year. The Kansas Jayhawks are a 1 seed for a reason. If you think that the 1 seed only has a 20% chance of moving on and winning this tournament, I think you're just wrong, especially with the field that's left. Look, Duke is good, Nova is good. I just think that when they get past Duke, I think they can. You're giving them no chance against Duke, and a team that Duke has lost a few games that they shouldn't have lost this year, and so has Kansas, but I think Kansas has been more consistent than that Blue Devils team, and you're giving them no chance to move on from Duke. I mean, it's not like nobody is good on Kansas and just somehow they got a number 1 seed. They're a number 1 seed for a reason. Devontae Graham is a really good basketball player. He'll be good in the NBA as well. So is Marvin Bagley, I'll give you that. Will Duke put up a good game? Yeah. Does Kansas have no chance of winning? No. Kansas obviously has a chance of winning it all. And especially if they move on past Duke and then they just have to face Nova and then, Loyola, Chicago, Florida State, Michigan, or whoever comes out of that other side of the bracket.
Go Raptors.
I mean, look, the fact that we are just discounting Kansas because I'm going to be frank, they're a little bit of a boring number 1 seed.
Absolutely.
And we've been focusing a lot on the March Madness upsets, UMBC, Loyola, Chicago, Florida State. These are all the things we're focusing on. Well, Kansas has been able to take care of business. And you were talking about Clemson. Look, they beat Auburn. I've been on this train from the beginning. Auburn is trash.
Yeah, but they beat Auburn
had
by 30 points.
Yeah, Auburn had 2 good wins this season, all right? And Clemson is a good basketball team, but Kansas is just overall better. You're discounting their best player in Devontae Graham, and you're discounting a number 1 seed in general, which I just don't think is a good argument to have. Frias, who won that round?
Ooh, it's a good one. Personally, I think Vaughan won that round.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can buy in on Kansas. They've got a hot Clemson team to beat. Even though they match up well and they're a better team than Clemson, they got a hot Clemson team to beat. Then they're going to either play an even hotter Syracuse team. And if Syracuse can beat Duke, I don't know if there's a team in the tournament they can't beat.
Duke, Syracuse is going to win the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're going to play a Duke team that
they're going to shut down Nova.
This Duke team has, from October when the season began and Duke hosted ESPN's Midnight Madness, they've looked like the team that should be in the tournament championship game in the Final Four, probably cutting down the nets at the end of it all.
All right. Well, it's 2-2. And that means we go to our 5th round. This will decide it all.
Tiebreaker.
It is all tied up right here. Now, are we going back to the NBA, Frias?
Yes, we are.
Oh, let's do it.
Going back to the NBA, talking about a team. Trust in the process. That's what we're doing. We're talking about a team that. Talking about a surprise team. Almost as surprising as their NFL team, who just won the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers.
Right,
are you trusting the process, or are you not trusting the process in this first-round playoff series that they will more than likely have? Erik?
Man, we're trusting the process here. I don't know what you're talking about. They're a 4 seed right now. Joel Embiid is really, really good, great defensively. He can Steph Curry it from 3, as we saw in the game before. Well, he hasn't been that great of a 3-point shooter as he was his first year. He's still a threat out there. He's an all-around great offensive player, an amazing defensive player. Ben Simmons, yeah, he's a rookie, but he's in his second year in the league. He's got a lot of triple-doubles, more triple-doubles than Paul George and Tracy McGrady in their career so far, and his first regular season isn't over yet. He can distribute the ball. He could score even without his jump shot, and he can rebound. And then you have guys like J.J. Redick, who's a threat from the outside perimeter, who is a veteran out there. Robert Covington has had a great 3-and-D season, one of their great players, and underrated so far in this entire season, lost in the trust the process madness, is Dario Saric. Dario Saric has adjusted to being one of the better role players in the league, something Andrew Wiggins could probably take note of. Not number one guys, but one of the top guys on the team that will always contribute and can always be a good place there, a consistent guy. I mean, Dario is going to be one of those people in the playoffs where, look, if somebody has an up or down game, if Joel does, if Ben Simmons does, and Dario's going to be there. He's going to put up like 12 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists kind of guy. And that's somebody that you need out there. And look, I know I said earlier about the playoff experience with the Raptors.
You know I was going to bring it up.
Here's the thing with the Raptors. I said with their playoff experience, it's because it's been bad. They've been out there and they've just had bad experiences. They are known chokers in the playoffs. And I would rather trust a no playoff Embiid and Simmons and Saric over Van Fleet, Pirtle, and Anunoby. Okay? Look, I'm not going to trust Fred VanVleet to show up in the playoffs. You know who I am going to trust? Joel Embiid, an all-star center, an all-NBA center most likely, one of the best big men in the league. Ben Simmons, one of the best rookies we've seen in a long time. And he's been a little bit outshined by Donovan Mitchell, who's had a flashier season than Ben Simmons, but he's still almost putting up a triple-double every single night. He's not just a scorer, he's a passer like LeBron. There are so many weapons on the Sixers team, and yeah, they're a little bit young and inexperienced, but they're going to be a 4 seed most likely, or even a 5 seed. Can you imagine a home game in Philadelphia in the playoffs after everything that's happened? Joel Embiid probably tweeting something out that's going to irk the other team. I don't see why the 76ers can't win a first-round series. If they're going to be a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, they're going to play either a Wizards team, a Heat team, a Bucks team, or a Pacers team. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are really good players. The only player on those teams that could really surpass them in skill is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that is going to be the Bucks at the 7 or the 8 seed, and just the rest of their team isn't stepping it up. And they're not as well-oiled as a machine, and I think that this Philadelphia 76ers team will win a first-round matchup. I am buying the process. I am trusting the process. Philadelphia is going to have a good playoff run this year. And Colin Cowherd saying that they weren't going to get 40 wins. Well, you're wrong. They're at 40 wins. Top 4 seed in the East. Trust the process.
That was a lot.
A lot of right stuff.
All right, so you said 2 names a lot. You said Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
When they're off the floor, who plays?
Dario Saric.
When he's off the floor with them,
Robert
because
Covington.
he starts to.
Robert Covington's been very good. Do not underrate Robert Covington.
No.
All
right.
I'd rather just Robert Covington over Fred VanVleet.
If the playoffs started today, the Philadelphia 76ers would be playing the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers, if we're going to talk about a first-round matchup, that's their most likely first-round matchup. So if we're going to roll with this hypothetical. I'm going to need you to trust me. Roll with this hypothetical. Pacers are 2-1 against the Sixers this year.
Okay.
Pacers are 2-1 against. We are seeing, if we're going to talk about Joel Embiid tweeting to irk the other team, please. Lance Stevenson, king of irk. Lance Stevenson can irk anybody. He can irk Joel Embiid if he wanted to. Bend over. Done. Game over. Series done. I'm telling you, we're seeing peak Lance Stevenson. Victor Oladipo is the most improved player in the NBA this season, period. And if we're going to talk about playoff experience, which you said. You try to define your side of the argument for the playoff experience. Lest we forget, Ben Simmons, rookie, Joel Embiid, rookie, good players. We've seen rookies in the playoffs.
Joel Embiid's not a rookie, and Ben Simmons has been in the league for 2 years.
Okay, well, Joel Embiid, rookie, playoff rookie, no playoff experience.
Playoff rookie, okay.
Yeah, playoff rookie, Ben Simmons, period, rookie. All I'm saying here, playoff experience for young guys, generally inconsistent. And Victor Oladipo has had 2 years of playoff, or 1 year of playoff experience. Miles Turner, 2 years of playoff experience, which is weird because you don't think of that 2016-17 season as the season he was in the playoffs, but he was. Miles Turner, is a very good defensive center. He usually can't contain Joel Embiid, but who can. But at the same time, Miles Turner is a very good player. And usually Joel Embiid can't contain Miles Turner. They both, in all 3 matches, both of them have been decent scorers. Victor Oladipo is Victor Oladipo. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. Lance Stevenson, not a great defender, but he's flashy. He is made for the playoffs.
Are we really relying on Lance Stevenson in the 2018 playoffs? Is that what we're doing here? We're relying on Lance Stevenson in the 2018 playoffs?
Lance Stevenson, trash literally everywhere. We talked about this today. When Victor Oladipo has Indiana across his chest, he's amazing. When Lance Stevenson has anything but Indiana across his chest, he's trash. But this year, you gotta admit, Lance Stevens is having a fun year. He's having a good year. You can tell he likes the team. You can tell that entire team is all in. Nate McMillan, great defensive coach, and the Pacers' defensive set is very, very good. Like for a team that has been, you want to talk about, Sixers the last few years, obviously very rocky. They've been discounted. You want to talk about a team? Everyone thought the Pacers were going to be 14th in the Eastern Conference this year. So you want to know what the playoffs are going to be like in Indiana? Pretty good. Just like the playoffs in Philadelphia.
They've
been counting out this team all year. And if you want to, numbers don't lie. You look at the record. Pacers 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, Pacers are 2-1. And the most recent game was 10 days ago. Today is March 23rd. They played on March 13th. Pacers won.
Okay, and so you're going to get at me for saying I just said Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. You pretty much just said Miles Turner and Victor Oladipo.
And
then Lance Stevenson. Oh, that's your third option.
Yeah,
I take Robert Covington, Dario Saric before Lance Stevenson.
We're not done yet.
Darren Collison.
I could go on. Darren Collison's having a surprisingly good year. Bojan Bogdanovic having a surprisingly good year. Corey Joseph, very good off the bench. Funnily enough, Al Jefferson, decent when he plays. I don't know.
I'm just saying, you're reading out the roster like it's leagues better than the entire 76ers roster, when it's just not. It's just plain not better than the 76ers roster. You have the two top guys, and then they have J.J. Redick, Robert Covington, and Dario Saric. My bad, Dario Saric. Those are 3 guys I'll take over your third option in Lance Stevenson any day of the week, especially in the playoffs.
Well, he's a decent third option, but you also have Bojan Bogdanovic. You have Domantas Sabonis coming off the bench, who's a decent back-to-the-basket guy. You have Darren Collison, who can score, great distributor. Corey Joseph, 3-point shooter, 3-and-D guy, great at the point guard position. You have guys who can. You have guys, one, who have playoff experience more than the Sixers. You have guys who, 2, take defense more seriously than the Sixers besides Joel Embiid. You have
Ben Simmons.
And who's going to guard Victor Oladipo? J.J. Redick? No, obviously not.
Robert Covington, 3-and-D player.
I don't think he can keep up with Oladipo, but that's just me. Your backup point guard is T.J. McConnell. My backup point guard is Corey Joseph. I take Corey Joseph any day of the week.
Hey, T.J. McConnell, he's shown that he's clutch. And all right. We're running out a little bit of time here.
Yeah.
It is tied 2-2. This was round 5. A heated debate. It's all going to come down to the man right here,
also
Nick Frias, who won tonight.
Ooh, all right. So both of these teams have been counted out. Both of them have rosters capable of either going out and dominating a round in the playoffs or going out and just falling apart. But regular season head-to-head records can't be what you're basing the weight of it on.
What about Oh my God.
The Thunder started off the season 6-0 against the top 3 teams in the West.
Yeah, regular
and lost
season
the game
records
to
can't
the
be what
Suns.
you're regular season can't be what you're basing it
Well,
off
he hasn't
of.
said his decision yet.
Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons don't have a playoff
Let
record.
the man talk.
When
They don't
both-
have a playoff record.
When
Let
both
the man
rosters
talk.
are very
Let the man
similar,
talk.
you can't base the head-to-head record in the regular season.
Let the man talk. Let the man
Come
speak.
on, Skip.
Come on.
I'm trusting the process.
Let's go.
That's
All right.
garbage. That's
So
garbage.
I'm going to shake Vaughn's hand here. That will do it for here at Coast to Coast. We're going to call this the basketball debate or the basketball breakdown. Hopefully something a little bit different that people enjoyed. We'll be back next week doing just regular college basketball breakdown, regular NBA full court press. But until then, enjoy basketball. We'll see you guys next week.
Go Pacers.